like actual quarterback who can throw the ball. I think he'd prefer to probably run the quarterback more than Buechele was able to do. But you can see how good he is at adapting and adjusting to what he has. You know, one of the big conversation points I have with almost anyone is that you can't wholesale change crap just to do it, but you can adapt to what you've got. And if you've got a guy like King, well, yeah, you're going to run him a little bit more. So some of the stuff that you can see even where Buechele ran, I think you're going to see King run a little more often. So less what I would call base zone, where you block the backside end, and more zone read where you may not, you know, the run pass option portion might happen pre-snap as opposed to post. It can happen downfield post-snap, but that's where you start getting a little more tricky. And our guys downfield, and are you going to get called for it? And I don't know what the hell the reps are doing right now, but probably that's the way to ruin the game.
Okay. Let me ask you this, my friend. It's September 4th. You are Rhett Lashley. You have Temple week 1 the next day. Who is your starting 5 offensive lineman?
Oh shit. I mean, I'm assuming they were about to figure that answer out. It sounded like, what do they have? They had Campbell, Clark, Gaynor, Scaife, and Zion were all out there. I think they were figuring that out, and, you know, obviously this whole thing went down, and, you know, as a joke, you know, obviously ruined spring football for us nerds, but, you know, and the whole scale thing has really just kind of screwed the whole place up. But, you know, I think they were leaning towards that. I mean, the true test is going to be, you know, are these guys able to even stay remotely in shape? The problem for guys that are built like linemen, and some of them they put so much weight on. Like, look at Mario Cristobal. Obviously, I doubt he weighs close to 300 pounds anymore. So you think of a guy like him who's slimmed way down, or like Mark Schlereth, you know, gosh, who was the tackle that was at Kansas City that like retired and just shrunk? You know, there's guys who eat, you know, like Michael Phelps style, 5,000, 6,000 calories a day. Excuse me, just to get bigger. And then you have the guys who are more like a Donaldson or, you know, myself, where if you stopped working out, you'd be like 400 pounds. It's the difference between 6'5" and 5'10", you know?
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Donaldson?
I love being this guy. I think I was right all along. Anytime that you show up, and I think that Gridiron Genius sort of backs up my statement, they love to recruit not recruit, but they love to scout their guys for the NFL at the Senior Bowl type stuff when it's best on best. And I think when he went to that All-American game stuff and he was getting worked every rep, you know, at tackle, I kept saying, you know, if you're getting worked this bad, you know, against other high schoolers, imagine what's going to happen when you're going against 23-year-old men.
Yeah.
You know, 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds. You know, this is 18 on 18. Just wait until it's 23 on 18. He ain't going to be starting to tackle very long unless he loses 50 pounds, and you can't lean on Chase Young. You can't lean on, you know, the kid from Temple, Miami just got. You're not leaning on them. They're slipping right off you and going Rousseau. You're not leaning on him. So it becomes very different. You know, those guys make their bread and butter in high school beating up people that were my size, right? They're blocking defensive ends who are 5'11" and 5'10" and, you know, 200 pounds. They're not always going up against someone that's also going to be in the ACC. Once you get to that all-star game, you are. I mean, that's the top 100 players in the country. So now everyone is going P5. And I think that shows your true test. You know, people were saying, oh, well, nobody tries that hard. Okay, well, you have to do that. That's a two-way street. The defensive end isn't trying very hard. It's just smoking your ass. Well, yeah. I mean, both of you are either giving no effort and he's kicking your ass, or maybe you should try harder, or I don't know what to tell you. But if you go onto a display of your abilities and you don't have the competitive edge to want to kick the best defensive end in the country's butt every rep, then I don't have a spot for you on my roster because you don't have competitive winning edge.
I know you were very pissed off about the 2019 season. Well, we all were. But I mean, you're continuing to hold that grudge. Are you over the 2019 season?
I'm pissed off at my own 2019 season that I coached. So maybe I'm just angry. Maybe I just had a bad 2019, damn it, but football wise. But I'm mad about my own coaching job. So I don't want to make it sound like I'm some, jackleg sitting in the armchair quarterbacking through. Well, he's a bad coach. So was I. I was a bad coach last year. We could have won 2 or 3 more games, and there was I was on a drive that started from our own -1. We were going 99 yards, and we came up 3 yards short. I mean, there was stuff like that where I thought, God, if we can drive 99 yards to beat our rival at homecoming with my parents there, well, that's going to be a big deal, And we came up 3 yards short. My favorite thing, tried to double screen it, and it didn't work. It wasn't the guy that normally does it. He was out, and, stuff like that. But that's a bad coaching call. The be-all and end-all of the whole thing is that anyone that says the head coach isn't at fault for losing, or that the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator isn't at fault for their scheme, the truth is they are, and that you can't blame the players. You acquired them, developed them, and deployed them. That's on you. So, do I think that was a god-awful season? Yeah. Do I think you can learn and redeem yourself? I guess. I think, if anything showed, it took Butch Davis like 5 years, and it didn't help sanctions and stuff, but that 95 team, after watching those, couple of games and stuff, I mean, you're looking at future NFL All-Pros, and they're losing to UCLA, who went had 5 wins or something that season. It's you shouldn't lose to FIU. You shouldn't get smoked by Louisiana Tech. Now, Louisiana Tech's strength coach, I love him. Kurt Esser's my guy. But even Kurt will tell you, they took a bunch of 1-stars and beat Miami, and they thought it was hilarious.
And let me ask you this. Sorry, Justin, I keep going over you, but you, Justin, the game of football. You've been coaching here for, I don't know how long you've been coaching. It seems like you're 100 years old. But how long does it take to build a winning or a good culture on a football team?
Takes Urban Meyer 1 season to build a winning culture somehow. How the hell does he do that? But it takes the rest of us. But then he sort of dissipates, right?
But what does he do differently?
Motherfucks the shit out of everybody. Knows how to. He does, and knows how to bring in. He has no scruples. He knows how to bring in a recruiting class that is nobody's business. But it always starts to wane, right? He's always best in the first couple of years, and then it trails off a little bit, and he loses some of that power. Well, you lose your trust, accountability, and respect to have a long-standing success when you allow people to break rules you don't allow other people to. If you read, there's a book called The Program, and it's actually an entire company, I guess you could say, that goes out and does leadership stuff from the military to college football programs. NC State and Georgia Tech just used it. They've been in NBA teams. They've been with, NFL teams. They go to major corporations. They're former Marines, and they come in and teach you how to establish leadership. But, they're going to tell you the same thing. You can be successful for a couple of years with bad core values, culture beats talent when it comes down to Clemson against other schools that allow a bunch of hokey shit. I think, the thing that Dabo does best, this is a massive tangent, but I didn't think Dabo does best is that he was willing to get 15th ranked recruiting classes to get the guys that he wanted, that were going to follow the rules. And then got number 1, 2, 3 recruiting class. And they still don't get usually number 1, right? And Georgia kind of usurped them every time, but they still get top 3, top 5. And now they're getting really good kids, and they could take a risk on a guy or two because 100 people in their locker room are upstanding citizens. You could take 1 or 2 risks, but you can't start off taking all those risks and expect to maintain. So Meyer goes out and gets all these top flight players. They win immediately. That helps boost your recruiting. He doesn't follow a lot of standards that he preaches, but then, it always starts to deteriorate under him. I think we saw it happen with Bob Stoops. I think, if you're willing to sacrifice your core values, you're never going to have sustained success in one place. Can you bounce around and, jump from Utah to Florida to Ohio State to wherever the hell he goes next? Sure. But can you stay at Ohio State for 15 years? No, because you're going to wear it your welcome. And the kids stop believing you. They don't have trust in you. They don't respect you for real anymore. Do they fear him because he, MFs everybody? Sure. But do they actually respect and trust him in the end? I don't know, or they wouldn't break all the damn rules.
Yeah. Well, so how do you view like our current culture in that template? I mean, do you think the turnover chain and the touchdown rings, do you think all that stuff plays into this, or I mean, kind of give us an assessment on the program culture right now, if you would.
For me, I think the best thing someone like Manny Diaz could have done was drop that kind of stuff immediately upon becoming the head coach. Is that great stuff to do as a coordinator? Oh yeah, you've got to find in the Gridiron Genius book, he talks about how Belichick still uses T-shirts, like special forces, or I can't remember what they call it. They got maybe special forces, and he still gives out T-shirts to millionaires. You know what I mean? Like, and they're fighting over T-shirts. Like, I want to be the special teams player of the week, and they get a leather jacket if you get the most. And guys want that jacket, right? But that has nothing to do with the shirt and the jacket. It has to do with they unbelievably respect and want want Bill Belichick to love them, right? They want to be a Belichick guy. First of all, you're probably going to win. And second of all, that sort of progresses you obviously in a coaching career, into what a lot of guys feel like, I think, is sort of a successful life because of the discipline and toughness created there. So I think with Manny, if he had to do it all over again, he never would have rode the damn yacht. He would not have done the kegger thing. And I think he would probably drop some of the BS. That's all false bravado, and it's not real. There's nothing backing it up. I think the Wisconsin coach was Paul Chryst. I think he took a crap on the turnover chain in the Orange Bowl, and when he said turnover chain, assholes or whatever he said, he basically shot it down. It was dead it was dead right then. The minute that you lost to Wisconsin, the thing was over, right? Because they're sort of a litmus test for shitty coaches because they pounded Randy Shannon to death. They beat Richt and sent him packing. It's like every time that you're done, they're kind of the one that they're not the last domino, but they flick it to get it started, and it goes around for another 12 months before you're canned.
Do you think Manny can be the guy, or is the guy that can turn this thing around?
I think like anybody,
honestly, because I think he could be. I'm very skeptical, but yeah. Do you think he really is the guy?
I don't think he's the guy. Like, I don't think there's very few national champion coaches, right? There's very few. There's who's still active. Matt Brown. He's obviously the guy. What he's doing in North Carolina is unreal. In the amount of time he's doing it in. Brown is the guy, right? He seems to be reinvigorated, doing it through younger assistants, high-profile people, or at least upcoming, with Phil Longo and Jay Bateman. You have Dabo. You've got Nick Saban. Hell, is that it?
I mean, you got I guess Les Miles is Kansas, and then you got Ed O as well.
Oh, yeah, God, that's dumb of me. Yeah. So, and Orgeron just got his first, right?
Yeah.
It's very few. It took Ed Orgeron a long time. He had his big season or his big break with Ole Miss, failed miserably, and then traveled around for a long time and eventually got the job that he did earn and he did deserve to get a second chance. And LSU was smart. They paid off, and he's the guy that, in the vein of Manny, though, like Orgeron, they're not they're willing to admit they've made mistakes. I think that's the best thing about Manny Diaz. I think the thing that you can say, the things that I don't like are the false bravado, tackling the dummy. I think that was disrespectful to Mark Richt in a lot of ways. Obviously, it backfired on him big time. A lot of that stupid, hokey shit backfired on him quick. I think if he looks inward and he establishes those core values and he says, these are the three things I believe in, you could put up a sign in your guidance counselor's office that says discipline. And, it can have a nice picture of some waterfalls, but it doesn't mean shit if you as the leader are not disciplined, right? I mean, discipline is only everything that you do is from the top down. Culture is created by the leader. And programs are a mirror of their head coach. If your head coach is late to shit and they throw a stupid kegger and they care more about flash than substance, then your kids will too. I mean, that's why they dance on the sideline during an FIU ass kicking, right? I mean, that came from your coach tackling a dummy and from stupid rings and a kegger and a yacht thing, and that's why the idiot dances on the sideline, right? So
I was in such a positive mood before this, and now you're like getting me pissed off at man.
Don't do that.
It is.
Because I think
It is
he's
what
done
it is. I
great
mean,
things.
he can either